Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Overwatch Central. And welcome to another Omened by HP video. Proud sponsors of the Overwatch League and also PC providers. A lot of this gameplay in the background will be from the Overwatch League to sort of show off my points, I guess. All of this was played on Omened by HP PCs. This was going to be a video talking about Baptiste, just generally where he is. We've had one full stage of the Overwatch League with this hero, and he's done okay. We'll sort of look at his pick rate, we're looking at some gameplay from the Overwatch League in the background, but there's definitely a big misconception that I found looking into stats on Baptiste and also what players are saying about him. Because it's generally players are saying one thing, yet the stats to back it up aren't really there. In fact, they're the opposite. I will talk about what I mean now, but first we need to go back to this tweet made by a friend of mine, Cameron, who is a sort of semi-pro player in the UK that's done a lot of like LANs and stuff, but is most importantly a top 500 main tag player consistently. Here he is complaining that he misses goats, which I never thought we'd get to this point, but it has raised a big debate over the state of the game when you certainly look at the stats of him and also another pro main tank player, Xerath. They've basically only been playing Orisa this whole season, and that's a good amount of time to back on this hero 2 weeks into this latest season. One of the reasons why Orisa's pick rate could have gone up is the fact that more players are playing DPS, and as a solo tank or just a tank in general, Orisa is the easiest to play alongside teams that are running Widowmaker, Hanzo, Genji, whatever. Wrecking Ball's also a good shout, but can be quite tricky if you don't have that team synergy going on, I suppose it would be. But another composition that Orisa's used a lot in is Bunker Comp, and seemingly out of nowhere, Baptiste has been brought into that discussion. On Reddit, they're saying that Orisa isn't the problem, it's Baptiste, with good reason. Bunker Comp is a composition that we've spoken about quite a lot, and Orisa, and to an extent Baptiste, have become synonymous with it. You are watching it in the background, being played live as you're seeing, and most of you know what it is. It's the whole idea of having an Orisa setup in a place that's hard to reach, fight from a distance, just been really impossible to move. You can have heroes like Sombra to help you out there, Mercy, and you can run stuff like Bastion as well just for that damage, really protect the president in that regard. But of course Baptiste will add to that. Not only is he a stationary healer, can hop around a little bit, throw a lot of heals in the general area, but most importantly, as you know, he has the immortality field. So when you pair this up to a stationary composition that likes to stay together, that doesn't want to move, it makes sense why Baptiste is going to be really good for this composition. So hearing a lot of the pros complain about the state of Bunker Comp, how boring and resident sleeper it can be, it's completely understandable. We've all had those games on Paris where we can't break through that first choke because the enemy team is running Baptiste, a Mercy, a Bastion, and Orisa, and it's just impossible to get past them. In fact, it's really difficult to be able to even try. So it gets frustrating. People blaming the map and stuff, but the misconception is that it's Baptiste's fault and that his rise in popularity is the reason why this is going on. That he is the fault of Orisa's pick rate going up, a Bunker Comp being played a lot more, and that he is one of the most popular heroes to enable this composition, meaning that he's the most at fault. And that's the thing that isn't true. In fact, his pick rate hasn't gone up, it's gone down. Even in GM and across all of the tiers, as you're seeing on screen, that's his pick rate ever since he came out into competitive. It rose up, had a bit of a peak a couple of weeks into the season, and then has been dropping ever since, with it being currently, in a lot of tiers, the lowest it has ever been. But we could break a little bit into this more and more. What's Baptiste's pick rate been like in the pro scene? Well, like I mentioned before, similar to competitive at least, it is dropping down. Last week it was 3.5% in the Overwatch League and now it's 1.3%, so it's dropped down a little bit. In defense of that, it has been the playoffs and the grand final of stage 2, so these are the better teams that are in the league, they're playing their best compositions, and no doubt for the most part that involves goats. Certainly comparing it to the pick rate of Ana and Zenyatta, they absolutely dwarf him in time played. But the interesting thing that I certainly wanted to highlight in this video initially was just how often he was picked up by different teams and different compositions. This hasn't been a case of teams played him a lot at the start of the season, had a lot of minutes played on him, and now they don't pick him at all. He actually does get played quite a lot. You're seeing the standards on Omnic Meta here, and I really just want you to pay attention to the date more than anything. Picked up on the 6th of May, the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd, basically played every single day of this week by various teams. Chengdu, San Francisco Shock, Nando's Eternal, LA Gladiators, all with varying degrees of success. Jinmu very recently went 13-0 on a part of King's Row. And whilst Rascal did get an awful lot done on Paris recently in their game against Shanghai Dragons, Rascal is one of the players that has picked up this hero quite often. In fact, the most popular place that Rascal's been picked on was Junkertown by Rascal, Jinmu, Grey, Birdring, just to name a few of these players. They've had the most success on this hero, getting the most eliminations and dealing the most healing. Much like Symmetra as we highlighted last week, the pick rate isn't an awful lot, but it's in specific situations, it's varied, and it's been used by a lot of teams, showing again that they want to put a lot of stock into this new hero. And again, you've seen it in the background as well, being used on Junkertown, so you know exactly how it works on attack and defense, that kind of thing. So it's not me saying that Baptiste won't be a problem in the future. Certainly with the ability, the immortality field, you can certainly understand how that can be frustrating to play against. Cutting out big ultimates like really well placed diva bombs just by throwing down an ability that you can get quite often. It's one of those things that is really strong, like defense matrix in the right hands, and I think the players really haven't utilized Baptiste enough to really know how powerful he is. But the misconception is that he is causing this bunker comp meta on his own right now. Some have called it the horse meta because of a recent spike in pick rate. But in terms of competitive, this was broken down really well on Reddit by user Scamps. He did a similar thing that I wanted to check out by looking at the heroes that have gone up in pick rate, gone down, and simply just said that it's not Baptiste's fault. In fact, I'll take a quote on what he said about Baptiste, because I really do think it augments what I'm trying to say. If anybody thought that Baptiste was the one driving the new horse meta, this should make it clear he has bugger all to do with it. After new toy syndrome wore off, his pick rate has actually gone down since the Arisa boom. Anna meanwhile remains largely unchanged as the most powerful healer at GM. The support duo with Arisa appears to be some combo of Anna, Mercy and Zenyatta. Zenyatta's pick rate has gone down, but appears to have more to do with his nerf a few weeks ago and has largely leveled out lately. So a really solid quote to show off exactly what we sort of mean here, I guess. That Baptiste's pick rate has gone down, he's been played the least now than ever, he has never been less popular, yet he has been blamed for this new meta that's coming out. But certainly, highlighting the biggest losers really shows you a lot. He pointed out Reinhardt and Zarya as their pick rate have dropped as I'm shown on screen. Winston and Diva 2's pick rate isn't great in the highest tiers, and even Lucio has taken a bit of a fall. But looking at the big winners, at least according to Scamp's little analysis that he did, there are a few heroes that have risen in popularity that you can't really say, oh, yep, it's their fault, 100% it's their fault that we're in this bunker comp. Roadhog is a perfect example. He has never been more popular ever since he was nerfed way back when. This iteration of Roadhog is the best he's ever been, and people are really starting to play him again, which is great. I'm really excited to see Roadhog played a lot more. Heroes like Widowmaker and Torbjorn also make this list of heroes that have gone up in pick rate. But another hero, and I can already see people wanting to blame her already because they have done it in the past, Mercy is another hero that has gone up in pick rate, even overtaking Lucio in terms of the main healer in GM. She's a very strong healer at the moment. Her healing going up when she uses her ultimate is really good, and again, makes sense why she's used in this composition when you have Bastions and Torbjorns and Widowmakers and Hanzos that you can all damage boost in that situation. But it seems more likely to have an Anna or a Zenyatta alongside. Anna for the amount of healing that she can do and just the utility that she brings, and Zenyatta because of the Harmony Discord, really strong. Baptiste isn't to blame. That's the main thing that you can take away with this video. But I still wouldn't necessarily say it's Mercy's or even Arisa's fault that they've been picked more. It's the fault of the heroes that have gone down in popularity. All of the other tanks, Reinhardt, Zarya, Diva, Winston, have all just dropped in popularity as players are clambering to this composition. It's a natural shift in the meta, and it's really nice to see eventually teams moving away from GOAT's comp to something else. Not to say that any new compositions wouldn't be any more frustrating. I could certainly see that bunker comp isn't a popular composition across a lot of plays just because of how stationary and just slow I guess it would be. But this is more just a post-mortem, I suppose, of Baptiste. The state that he's in, his pick rate isn't great in the pro scene. Players are still trying to use him, trying to get as much impact from him as possible. But if we do move to a bunker composition in the future with a new meta, it's safe to say that Baptiste isn't going to be the kingpin of this. In fact, he's probably not going to be involved in this composition at all, based off the other pick rates of Anna, Mercy and Zenyatta. But I am really curious to hear what you guys think. Do you want a bunker comp? Do you prefer GOATs? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks again to Omen by HP for helping support this video. You can check out all of their awesome stuff in the description below. And be sure to catch up on the Omen esports report, which has started up again. Myself and Miska will be on it hopefully sometime in the future, but we'll let you know closer to the time. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you then.